Progressive Insurance. You can watch us on ESPN2. ESPNU. ESPN app, SiriusXM 80. And, of course, all across the country on our great ESPN radio stations. So, Dolphins Bills this weekend. A lot of people rightfully saying this is the game of the weekend in the NFL. I put your feet to the fire here. Next 5 years, Tua or Josh Allen, who you got and why with those two quarterbacks?
Well, I took Tua, and this is assuming health, and that's a huge assumption. But Tua is not going to have the self-inflicted wounds that Josh Allen is. I mean, Josh, through the first 3 weeks, has got 5 turnovers. We saw 4 on opening night against the Jets. The only path to victory that the Jets had with Zach Wilson, their backup quarterback, taking the lion's share of the snaps, was if the Bills' offense gifted them more opportunities, gifted them short fields. And that's exactly what Josh Allen did. And that's something that's an extension of what we saw last year. Remember, it was a lot being made of Brian Daboll leaving to be the head coach of the New York Giants, Ken Dorsey taking over. That's when the turnovers started to show up in a big way for Josh. This guy had 23 turnovers in 18 games last year, including the playoffs. That's not something that a quarterback that has championship aspirations should be doing. And so that's why I lean toward Tua, just because we don't see that from Tua. Now, granted, a lot of why Tua is successful is because of the personnel and the scheme around him, but he takes really good advantage of it. He's accurate with the football, and I think that part of it is why I trust him more.
Yeah, I think the only question for me about Tua is his health. That's the only reason I paused when you asked that question, Evan, is because you can't guarantee that you'll have Tua for the next 5 years. But assuming health on both ends, I'm with you, CC. I think I'm going with Tua. He's not only accurate, he not only has proven that he can be the guy when he's healthy. I just look at what he's doing this season. He's doing historic stuff. Like, the pressure surrounding the Dolphins has not gotten to him. And I know he has the pedigree of coming from a big program like Alabama, and that's translating. But he just seems like such a good leader, and he gets the job done. And looking at some of the numbers heading into this week, he only needs 347 passing yards on Sunday to have the most passing yards through 4 games in Dolphins history, right behind Dan Marino. We're talking about what he's doing in the same vein as Dan Marino, one of the greatest to ever do it. So I have to go with Tua, even though Josh Allen is a more proven commodity, especially in the postseason.
So when I look at these two, and this is going to be an awesome matchup on Sunday, when I look at these two, I don't know that I have ever had a quarterback matchup in conversation amongst elite-level quarterbacks that I've been so fearful of both of them. I'm so scared of the Tua injury when I'm thinking about picking him in this debate, and I'm so scared of the Josh Allen turnovers when I'm picking. Like, if you were to say, all right, who would you rather have, Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow? All right, fair conversation. I'm fearful of nothing, right? Even though Joe Burrow is currently hurt, there's nothing that scares me long-term about either one of those guys. These two guys, CC, scare me to death because Josh Allen has not improved with the turnovers, and Tua can't control what is a really serious thing in terms of the injuries. But when I really think about it, I think about Coach Belichick, of course, I always do, but I think about what he looks for in a quarterback. He looks for accuracy and decision-making. And I think based on those two things, my lean would be Tua, even though I'm not a big lefty quarterback guy. I've never been a big fan of the lefty quarterback.
What do you have against lefty quarterbacks?
I don't like the lefty quarterback.
You didn't like Steve Young?
Since Steve Young, and I like Vic.
You didn't like Michael Vick?
No,
I'm about to say these.
Since then.
Well, since these guys, but I don't like the lefty
ones.
quarterback.
I haven't seen a great one.
I don't like them.
But if I judge
like
quarterbacks based on accuracy and decision-making, Tua is the guy.
No, I mean, he's the guy, and you say he can't control the health concern, but the only thing that I would push against is we've heard all offseason how he's doing the jiu-jitsu and trying to learn how to fall properly, but the biggest takeaway is this guy's getting the ball out of his hands. Like, Tua's only been sacked once. He's been contacted 7 times. The ball is coming out so fast. I'm sitting there thinking while Ev is talking, outside of Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes, is there a quarterback-head coach combination that we trust more than Tua in terms of what we're going to get from a week-to-week basis? I don't. People are talking about Mike McDaniel as the next Bill Walsh. I can't believe I'm going to go here. But if he is the next Bill Walsh, does he have the perfect complement to it? Like, is this Mike McDaniel's Joe Montana?
Wait a minute.
I think that's what this offense presents. It's revolutionary. I'm not saying Tua is going to be Joe Montana. What I am saying is they are revolutionizing offense in the NFL. They are doing something that we have not seen in the modern day NFL. They are the perfect fit for one another, and that's why they were able to hang 70 points on the Denver Broncos. They could have set a single game record for points scored.
They should have.
They took a knee. with 3 minutes
And
left.
Tyreek Hill said that was the players that went to Mike McDaniel and said that.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's how good they are. So I know it sounds jarring when we start bringing these different things up, but it's not hyperbolic. Like this is a situation where we quite literally could see something that we've never seen before.
But if we're putting Tua and Mike McDaniel in that conversation of the two greatest tandems, then it's Super Bowl or bust then, because all of those other great head coach quarterback tandems, Andy Reid and Mahomes, Brady and Belichick, you know, if you're comparing them in the same company as those tandems, then they have to win a Super Bowl. Yeah. They have to get it done.
It is hype. What we've done is clearly hyperbole. We've just compared him to Bill Walsh and to...
I didn't compare him to Bill Walsh.
And what I said earlier, I think on Monday, my whole point about that was not comparing him to him being Mike McDaniel, Dolphins head coach, to Bill Walsh. It was saying I think what he's running is the evolution of a West Coast offense.
Well, no, it's the evolution of a West Coast offense, but you're not the only one making that comparison.
But I think it's too much.
There are other people calling him Bill Walsh based on what we're seeing. Like
too much.
Ev,
do you agree with that or no?
We can say, no, I don't. Listen, I will say this. I think he is ahead of the curve when it comes to innovation on offense in today's game, being able to use the X's and O's, take advantage of the rules that are tilted toward the offense. There are some things that we just the expand motion with guys that run 4-2, 4-3, like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. That's something we don't see. Like Tua threw 4 touchdown passes or 4 touchdown passes last week. 3 of them were behind the line of scrimmage. 3 of them. Again, it's not something that we're accustomed to seeing. I'm not saying that these two are Bill Walsh and Joe Montana. What I am saying is these two are quite literally showing us something that we have not seen in the NFL in 30 or 40 years. They're on pace to smash the scoring record set by the 2013 Denver Broncos. That's how good this offense is. It's the most dominant unit in the NFL this season, but it might be the most dominant unit that we've seen in the NFL in some time.
But you're saying that you think that they have the possibility that they could be capable of becoming an all-time tandem.
They're on pace to score over 700 points in a season when the record is 608. Think about that. They're on pace to score over 700 points. The record for points scored in a season by a single team is 608. It is insane what they're doing. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go out there and score 50, 60 points every week like they did against the Denver Broncos, because the Broncos are god-awful on defense. What I am saying is that this is the toughest offense to stop in the NFL.
Agreed.
And based on what they're able to do in terms of dictating the overall complexion, I don't know who's going to beat this team.
So the best offense, and I know the greatest show on turf, obviously it was amazing, obviously, that you had in St. Louis there, Smalls. And, of course, all the Brady teams were great offensively. I always think back to the 98 Minnesota Vikings when it was Randy Moss and Dante Culpepper, Randall Cunningham. It was an awesome offensive team, just an awesome offensive team. But and they went 15-1 that year, but they did not win a Super Bowl. And so that's where I go with I can't go yet to the idea of Walsh, Montana, Brady, Belichick. What I can say is it's an excellent point. If you're going to look at Reid and Mahomes and then say, who would you rather have than Mike McDaniel and Tua right now in terms of head coach quarterback combo, they may be second on that list. I will absolutely have no problem going there, but they are, and this is a compliment to the Dolphins, they are so good that at some point, and it's going to be soon, we are then going to start saying, yes, I get it. You're innovative on offense. You're awesome on offense. Now we got to see you win. Now we got to see you win big.
But here's the thing. The only thing that got in the way of them winning big last year is Tua getting hurt. Mm-hmm. That was the only thing because it's correct. Not like this is the first year we've seen this offense be dynamic. Right. Last year, midway through the season, Tua was the MVP. Right. Not Jalen Hurts, not Pat Mahomes. It was Tua. He got the concussion issues. That derailed his season. That derailed that team. They still made it to the postseason. Mm-hmm. And it was a nail-biter in Buffalo in the wild card round. So all I'm simply saying is if Tua stays healthy, why would we not believe that this is the most explosive offense in the NFL? If they're on pace to smash the overall scoring record, then why should we believe that it's unfair to compare them to all-time great offenses led by all-time great head coaches and all-time great quarterbacks? That's the company that they're keeping right now. Like, I played against those 2013 Denver Broncos. I remember what that was like. Peyton Manning threw 7 touchdown passes against the Ravens in our regular season opener. I know what that looks like.
September 5th, 2013.
I know what good offense looks like, and that's what we're seeing from the Miami Dolphins. And that's why I think this is going to be such a tough out. We're going to learn a lot about these Buffalo Bills. We're going to learn a lot about Josh Allen. We're going to learn a lot about that defense this weekend.
All right, coming up,